Hi everybody, it's me, Little Frenchie, and today we're going to do this octopus. I'm just going to go through the supply list really quick because this video is a little bit longer because you have to put in all its little suction cups, and all you science geeks can tell me what the proper name for this is in the comments below. I don't know. I didn't look it up before I did this video. So anyways, I've done this little guy in yellow and red, but you can decide what color. Just make sure that whatever color you use, a good color to make the shadowing is burnt umber. I like to do this to make all my colors darker. It helps with greens, yellows, blues, reds. That's what I did for all of these. So burnt umber is definitely a color that you're going to want to use. And then I also used Ultramarine Blue. Now both of these are Winsor and Newton that I used for my painting. I'm going to probably venture out and try to start doing new colors, but this is what I have for right now. And today I got a little bit crazy, and I'm always like, you know the drill, you know what paintbrushes are used, but today I use an extra. But you know, normally I use, so today I did use number 8. Just kidding, that's not a number 8, that's number 10. Ha! Number 8, oops. I just happened to be sitting there and picked it up. Oh. Anyways, number 8 brush, and number 4, and a number 0. Now this is a little cheap brush I got at Daiso. Perfect. I love it. It's fantastic. I love this brush. So these are the 3 brushes that I used. This is just for the background. This is to do more of the detail, and this is to do the fine detail, because when you go in and do his tentacles and things like that, you have to do more detail. So I hope you're ready to get painting, and this is a little bit longer, so be ready to do it, and happy painting. Thumbs up if you like the video, put the comments down below, and subscribe to my page, and come to my Facebook page and show me your paintings. I would love to see any artwork that you do, and happy painting!
Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Alright everybody, I'm about to do this octopus, and honestly you can do this in any color you want. I'm going to do blue because it's pretty easy to do in blue, but I've done it in red, as you can see here, and I've done it in yellow. I think eventually I want to do like a whole rainbow of colors, every color under the rainbow, and do that, but for today we're going to do blue just because it's an easier color to work with, and I like the results of it. So I'm going to show you how to draw this. I know a lot of people struggling sometimes with getting the measurements when you're a beginner artist and figuring out what to do, and a lot of times you just need to break down what you're doing when you're drawing. Well, the first thing I do is I'm going to go in here and draw the octopus's eyes, and I'm going to just spread them apart like so, just long ovals. They don't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to go in and kind of put another oval inside of it so there's some room. Now I'm doing this a little bit darker than I normally would, but when you do this, make sure it's a little bit lighter. I just want the camera to be able to focus. And then I'm putting one more in there for its pupil. This is just to give me some direction on when I'm starting to draw, that I know where to keep things. I'm going to go in and I'm going to make his head kind of round up on top here. Oh, and you can see I'm not always perfect at this, but just do a round oval. Now here comes the fun part, and this is where you can really just do whatever it is that you want. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to start putting in all the tentacles as we go along, and you can really put them anywhere. And I'm going to start by doing the first one over here, and he's going to come up and do a little curlicue like this. And as we start, as you can see, I do this curlicue. I'm going to start small, and as I come back to the base, I'm going to make his tentacle larger and larger, because that's how they are. And then I'm going to draw the one on this side. And as you can see, I'm going to draw it. It's going to get larger and larger. Now they kind of have this opening, like a star where their mouth is. And so we're going to put that there. And then we're going to draw the rest of the 6 tentacles. Now you can put them wherever it is that you want to put them. And wherever you feel okay and safe, where you think they're going to be on the paper. And you see I kind of wanted to get that a little bit thinner. And so there's 3, and I'm just going to go through and we're just going to, and so here's a trick. When you're going through, don't try to just guess where it is, just go through. And then we can go back when we're done here. And now we can erase these lines. Remember, one of the tools I told you to have in one of my videos is to have a white eraser, and what we're going to do is erase these lines. That way it looks, have you ever drawn lines through something and it just didn't look like it matched up? This is to help that problem. This will help so it matches up. I'm going to draw another tentacle coming out from over here. Now that one's going to be behind, so we're going to take this first one we drew and go through and erase the lines. Now I'm showing you how to do this because I know some people who are beginning artists, and this will just help you to get an idea on how to draw lines and stuff. So we have 5 tentacles, and I have to somehow get 3 more in here. I feel like I proportioned it funny, but we can do this. And just remember, you can make yours any way you like. I have a little short one over here because I don't know if you've noticed their tentacles can sometimes recede and look long. They can stretch them out, make them longer and thinner. Have this one come out over here and curl up. And then we're gonna have this last one. Now I don't like how that is. I want it to be a little bit different. As you can see, we're gonna be spending like 5 minutes just getting it drawn out. But this will help you be your guidelines. And once again, I normally don't do my lines this thick. Or this. Then we're going to draw the last one. Like that. Now we have our base of our octopus. Now remember, when you draw, make sure that you do it a lot lighter. This painting, I'm only going to use 2 colors, and that is going to be French Ultramarine Blue, which is up here, or just Ultramarine Blue, and Burnt Umber, which you can see over here. So that's my palette. I don't really need much. I'm just going to have my my water, and I'm probably gonna, this is already up here. This is French Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Umber, because that's how I make that gray a lot for my paintings. So I'm gonna go through and get some water in my French Ultramarine Blue, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna put some in my Burnt Umber, just because I know I'm gonna need it later on. And I'm gonna start by just taking my French Ultramarine Blue. And I'm just going to go in, and the only place I'm going to leave blank is inside this octopus's eye. So I'm just going to go through and put blue everywhere. This is our base of the octopus. And so it's just like coloring by, like coloring in the lines. You're just going to put this blue. And then what we're going to do, which makes this painting look great, is we're going to add shadowing to it, which gives it depth and gives it that more 3D effect. Seems like octopuses in recent years have gotten a lot more popular. And it's cool. They're kind of really interesting animals. I think I accidentally picked up the wrong blue, but it's fine. No one will ever know. And that's the beauty of painting and doing your own art. You can mess things up and no one will really know that you messed up. So I actually picked up some cobalt blue and oops, that's okay. We're just gonna go through and just do this base, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, staying in your lines is gonna help you. Some people don't like this line effect, some people do. Just be aware the darker lines are going to be more visible once you're done with your painting, and that's why I like to do them lighter. But maybe you want to go for that cartoon look, and you can go through with a pigment pen. So you want to make sure you do pigment and not just a permanent water-based pen. The pigment pen can get wet. Now you see over here how this tentacle's on top. I'm going to be careful not to do this because then it's going to not look cohesive unless I plan on going back over it. So this other one is still underneath. So I'm just going to go through and see, like that. You want to make sure you want to kind of go with the flow as you're putting in the lines, because watercolor can leave some lines as you're painting. And so you just want to make sure that as you're putting in the lines that you go in the direction you want to go, because if it dries, it's gonna look funny. It'll show which way you used your brush. Now, one thing we're going to use in this video is we're going to use a white watercolor, but I always say this word, gouache, however you say that. I'm really bad. It'll be in the list down below. But we're going to use white to give the whites of the tentacles. And technically it's an opaque watercolor. Some people won't consider it watercolor, and if you don't want to use that for your drawings, you can always go through before you start painting and use a masking sort of paint. It's almost like rubber cement, and you paint it on before you start painting, and you wait till it completely dries, and then you take it off when you're done painting. I've used it. I like it, and I don't, because I'm a quick watercolor artist. I want to do painting at my lunchtime, and I want to just do a quick 30-minute, maybe 45-minute painting at the most, unless I'm doing a piece particularly for someone or something special. But I just kind of want to do this for relaxing and finding my chi, I guess you'd want to say, relaxing, because sometimes my job can be very stressful for what I do. And when I do it at lunchtime, it gives me that peace I need, and then I can go back to work and do it all over again. And so at lunch, I like to do pieces that are quick, and I like to see results right away. Like I like that instant gratification of doing something. And so this painting, when I first did it at lunch, took me 2 lunches just to get all that finer detail and figuring out how to do it and how I wanted to do it. And so I'm hoping with this video it's not too long and I can do it. So I'm gonna go in with another layer over here, because on the top of his head it's a little bit more darker, and then it's lighter as we go down. So the way to get that effect is to just keep layering the paints on it, and then you will have that effect. And then I'm going to put some around its eyes to give it that 3D, and then here's where it's, please don't get all technical on me, but where its mouth is. And then this is where we're going to start putting in the layers of dark and dark and dark until then we're going to go back in and put in all the tentacles. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to do my hair dryer and then I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And I'm seeing as I dry this that I don't like how it is not blending in. So I'm going to kind of blend it in so it looks like it's blending in more. And then I'm going to pick up some more French Ultramarine, and remember how we put these lines in here? I'm going to go through and just start shadowing it. And the one I did, I think I did a lot of detail that was unnecessary and doesn't, the very first one doesn't necessarily need all that detail. Now I was been using a round number 8 brush, but now I'm going to switch to my number 4 brush just because I'm going to be starting to go in and doing all the tentacles, and I want a little bit of a more of a control over the paint, and it's easier to do that when you have a smaller brush. So I'm going to come in and go through, and all the tentacles I'm going to kind of put in like one side, maybe two, and as you can see I'm just kind of putting it underneath them like as if the light is kind of shining. Now they're underwater, so how the light is, I don't know, but we're just gonna guess here because I haven't actually gone swimming with octopuses before, although that I do love to swim. It's one of my passions. I don't know if I really want to swim with octopuses. I kind of like to keep to the pools and not have to worry about stuff creeping me out when they touch me. But so I've never seen them like swimming with them and how the light is when you're looking underwater. I've seen them at the aquariums though. This one I'm going to make a little bit darker just because it's kind of further back in the foreground. And the same with the one next to it. These are kind of like behind him, so we're going to make this a little bit darker up here, and then this one, see how it's kind of looks like it's coming forward. And then I'm going to just do this takes some time and patience. So I know a lot of people like octopuses, and if you don't have patience, this might not be the painting for you because this one's going to take a little bit longer than what you're used to. And then I'm going to go in here and just do a little bit underneath. And what we're going to do later on is we're going to put a little bit of that white paint in there to kind of highlight it to show the separation. You can hear my neighborhood kids yelling outside. So I'm just going to go through. Sorry I don't have any fun facts about octopuses for you at the moment. I should have looked them up before I did this video, but I was just so excited about doing it and figuring out how I could do this video. I didn't look up any fun facts about octopuses. Although now I'm like, I should have looked up some fun facts about octopuses, because who doesn't love some fun facts? Kind of like I did for my bee video. So I'm going in here, putting this in, and then I'm going to go in, and I'm going to do one more really light one, because this one's kind of in the front more, kind of like that other top one. And then we'll put some like white in there to now you can see it doesn't have to be perfect, because what's going to end up happening after this is we're going to go in with the white paint, and I'm going to paint I don't know what they're called. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Like the suction cup things. And we're going to paint those in. And so this is kind of just like the background. So I'm going to blow dry it. I'm going to pause. All right, and we're back. I have it dry. I think I missed a spot. It's all good. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do just a little bit more layering to this. Like I'm going to put some up on top of his head. And I'm going to put some more towards his mouth here. And have it come down. And then while that's starting to dry, so I'll put a little bit more up here. This is where we're going to go in, and what I'm going to do on his head is it's kind of wet, but I'm going to take the same color and I'm just going to dab. And I'm going to use the same color and I'm going to work down and dab, because we're going to give him a bunch. He's a freckled octopus, and he's going to have a ton of freckles because I love freckles and they're fun to do. And we're going to give him freckles all the way tops of his tentacles, and he's going to be the freckled octopus. I'm just going to put a little bit more on his eyes, as you can see here, just to give it a little bit more so they kind of look like they're bugging out. And then I'm going to go in here and we're going to take the ultramarine blue, and I'm going to take a bunch of it and I'm going to put it some more in here because that's what's already in here. And then I'm going to take the burnt umber and put it in here, and we're going to make black. And as you see, it's kind of brown, and so you know how that have that happen. You just take more French ultramarine blue and you get it until you get to the hue of black you want. So I want a more blue black versus a brown black. Have you ever noticed that with the different blacks? Like when you're trying to match up your clothes, they have different hues. And so this is, I want a blue black. That's almost like a really dark navy blue, or midnight blue, not navy, midnight blue. But it looks black, but it's like a blue black, and that's what I'm looking to achieve here. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna water this down just a little bit, so it's like a gray. Over here, as you can see, it's kind of yellow, but it's just stained from my paints. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna just dab a tiny bit while it's still wet. And then I'm gonna go in here and kind of just, almost like it's a star shape. We're gonna put the star in where his mouth is. Kind of like a 8-pointed star. And we're just gonna put that in there. And I'm not doing the 2 top ones just because those are the ones that are on top and it's showing the reflection. So I'm gonna leave it, and then I just kind of have it go down. Oops, that'll be fine. Just a little bit, and kind of taper it off so it doesn't look like you just did a line and stopped. Just gonna taper a little bit, and then I'm gonna try this, and then we're gonna add one more layer, and then we're gonna start with the tentacles. All right, we're back, and you can see it's pretty dry, even though this light on my camera kind of makes it bright. And we're gonna do one more layer of the black, and we're not gonna go as far as deep with it. See how before I kind of went lower, but we're just gonna go just a tiny bit, just so it's like you're layering on the colors to kind of show what's happening. And then that's what we're gonna leave it, so it's really black in the mouth, but I'm gonna add white lines on it later to kind of show. So here's the fun part that takes a little, this is probably the majority of the painting, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of start it off and show you how to do the little suction cup things. I don't know what they're called. Anyways, we're gonna work on that, and I'm gonna show you on each tentacle and kind of show you where to go. You can use my painting as a reference or whatever you want. It's really up to you. I'm taking a finer brush, and this is just a size 0 rounded tip brush. If you have a good steady hand, you can use a larger brush, but this is a size 0. This is actually a cheap brush from Daiso, and it came in a pack of like 5 for $1.50, and I found that it works really well, and I plan on doing a tutorial of my Daiso finds. And so I'm gonna go in here, and you can see I have this white. So you are gonna put water in with your white, and you're just gonna have to, like, I think I might have some yellow on my brush, but it's not gonna show in the painting. Make sure it's, yeah, I didn't clean it good enough last night. So I'm gonna go in, and I'm gonna the thing about white is sometimes it doesn't cover, and with watercolor sometimes it's difficult to paint white because watercolor is supposed to be done light to dark, but you're gonna see kind of what it looks like. You want to make sure you don't have too much on your brush, but you want the pigment to be heavy, so that's why I'm not like watering it out. And you might have to go in when you do your little suction cups and go in and do another layer of white. Depends on what's going on. So I feel like this is a little bit too much paint. I'm gonna water it down. I'm gonna go in here and I'm just gonna do O's through all of his tentacles. You're just gonna do O's, and you start bigger on top towards the base, and then you make them smaller as you get closer out to the tip of his tentacles. So see like how the white didn't show up very well in that one, so I didn't have enough pigment. I had more water than pigment, as you can see on some of these, so you just have to go in and go through. And you can kind of, if you start using it, you start to get the feel for it of how to use the white. I'm gonna go in, and on this one he has two little suction cups. So like this one is kind of showing half because it's kind of turned, and this one is showing on two. And then I'll show you what I do afterwards. I kind of put another layer dark wrapping around them to kind of give them more definition. As you can see, I'm just going to go through and do this to all of them. Now, if you're finding like you're doing these two, and as you can see his tentacles getting smaller and smaller, and you're struggling to, oops, that one's a little big, oh well, we'll fix it later. As you find that as you're going through, it's getting harder and harder to do two, just switch to one. Like his tentacle turned. Have you seen them at like the museum, or I mean the aquarium? They just turn like just amazing, like almost like they're liquid themselves. They're so graceful and beautiful the way they can turn all their tentacles. Quite fascinating, and they're quite smart creatures. I seen a video once where they put one in a like a mason, sort of like a mason jar with like a screw top, and it got itself out of there, like untwisted it. It was like fascinating how smart it was to free itself. I mean, it's probably torture for the poor animal. Probably did not want to be put in there. It was like, what is wrong with you people? Probably thinking we're not the smartest things. And so see, this is the one that's wrapping under, and you can kind of do half circles too if you feel like you know, its tentacle is turning. This is really up to you. This is up to your creation. So I'm just adding the white, and as you go in, you can just add dots. I've done that. I just felt like I'm done. I don't feel like doing any more. And I just like, sometimes I get lazy when I'm painting, and usually when you get lazy when you start painting, it's time to take a break and maybe come back to it later. Sometimes I just get tired. I'm like, okay, I've been working on this painting for I don't know how many minutes or hours, and you're like, I'm done. Oh, see that tentacle? Now, I messed up on that tentacle and didn't leave it open. That's okay. We're going to go through with paint, and I'm kind of wrapped a darker blue around it, and we'll fix it. It's the beauty of painting. And in any art, you know, don't ever feel discouraged like your piece is somehow has been destroyed or anything like that, because there's a fix. And sometimes our paintings or our drawings or whatever art piece we're working on just didn't come out the way we envisioned, and you know what, that's the beauty of art, is like you get to practice. And like I said before, I don't do this to make money. I do this to relax on my lunch break. And so for me, it's just my relax time. So if a painting doesn't turn out, I'll just start a new one tomorrow. Or I try that one again. Depends how I was feeling about it. Like, is this something I really want, or was I just doing it to try it because I wanted to try something new? That's kind of how I am with painting. A lot of times I just try things because I want to. See how I kind of got lazy with that one? It's kind of late here, so I must be getting tired. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. So we're going to do another one. I might turn this one into a speed painting later on, because I've had some people I know request that I do speed paintings. I know that when I was looking for videos, I wanted to see exactly how it was done, and so that's kind of why I'm going through here and showing exactly how it's done, because I want you to be able to recreate your own paintings and really fully understand what's going on in the process. So I'm going to just do one on this side too, because I feel like it's kind of turned on how I did it lighter. And then maybe I'll go in and put some more freckles on his top layer of his tentacle. I love freckles. On people too. I think they're just beautiful. I wish I was born with them. My son has them. I think he's adorable with them. I like when adults have them too. There's something attractive about freckles to me. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like you've been painted. They're just beautiful. I feel like it's a little water heavy, so you're like, what is she doing? And sometimes it's water heavy, it'll just put a blob on your painting, and that's kind of sucks. This one I kind of made it look like it has a heart. That was not intentional. I'm almost done with this. This video is going to be a little bit longer, and you're going to listen to my boring voice talk about whatever. Oh, that crazy little Frenchie loves freckles. She's weird. And if anybody else knows me, knows I love redheads too. There you go. A little tidbit that you learn about me while I'm painting. At lunch, I usually like to paint with my co-workers and have lunch with them and talk to them when I paint. Talk about all sorts of crazy things. Alright, so there he is with all his little suction cup things. 30 minutes in. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm trying to get this done because I know when I was painting, I did not want to do a very long video. But I do want to put freckles on the top of his, So I'm just taking a little bit of my Ultramarine Blue and... Oh my gosh, the neighbor kids are yelling outside. No idea why. Alright, we're going to go in and I don't want to be too dark, so you probably can't see what I'm doing. Let me turn it so you can see. I'm just taking the French Ultramarine Blue and I'm lightening it up because I want to be able to put in these freckles. And your freckles can be mismatched, kind of like real life, like people and creatures, their freckles aren't perfect, and that's what I love about them. I don't know if I also saw another video where people were getting freckles tattooed on their faces. Oh, so adorable. Except it wasn't permanent. It was only like semi-permanent, which is kind of disappointing because I actually thought about it and then I was like, not if it's not permanent. Like, I want it to be permanent. So what else we're going to do is we're going to put in some other different variants of colors, freckles on his head. So I'm going to take my black, well, my handmade black, and then I'm just going to go in here and just put some freckles, dark freckles, all over. And then so you can see I can do some dark ones, and then as I can get lighter ones. It's all about how you hold your brush. So when you go to the side, they're bigger. When you hold it straight up and down more, you're going to get smaller pinpoints of paint. And you can see a couple of mine didn't turn out exactly how I would like it. I'm just going to add a little bit more there. And you know what? Whatever. I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint his pupils. And it's just like a long line. And I'm going to do one for each side. And I'm going to do, what I'm going to do with the white is I'm going to put some white freckles on the top of his head. And then we're going to go and do an outline of all the suction cup thingy-mabobs. Because I don't know what anything's called proper. I'm more of a visual person. But anyways, we're going to go in and outline them. So I'm going to just put the whites. I feel like my paint was not watery enough. Okay. Too heavy. It mixed up with some of the black. That's okay. They're not perfectly round. You can try to make yours as round as you like. I'm doing this for the video, so if I was not doing this video, I'd probably go in and take them out, but I'm sure you don't want to see me do that. Maybe you do, I don't know. Comment and say, hey, I want to see how you take out your freckles if you don't like them. And the next time I do a video and I screw up, I'll be like, okay, I screwed this up, so let me show you how you fix this. But right now, I think it's fine. I don't really care. He's underwater. Everything's blurry underwater. And that's, you know, I like to swim and nothing is very clear. So I'm going to take some Ultramarine Blue and take some of this lighter, and I'm just going to add it to this sort of semi-black because I don't want it to be like that bright. I want to have a little bit of that darkness in there. And I'm still using my size 0 brush, but if you have a size similar to that, you can do it. And then I'm going to go in and let's just try. And I'm going to just kind of wrap around each little suction cup and then dab it right in the center, and we're done. And I'm going to do something that you know I love to do. And I'm going to end up doing splatters with this one because splatters are my favorite, in case you didn't know. Anyways, I'm just going to go in, and this is just where the patient comes in. You're going to go in and you're going to just wrap around each tentacle, because that's how you're going to make it look like it's layered and popping out. You know, you ever see like a cylinder, and it doesn't have to be exact, but we're just going to kind of go in. I'm going to put my paint up here so I can lay my hand down, because this takes more delicate handwork. And when you have more delicate handwork, you need your hands to be a little bit more steady, and me just leaving them risen high up is more difficult for me to do the delicate handwork. So I'm just going to go in and just kind of wrap around. And you don't have to touch all the way to the other side if you don't want to. So it kind of gives it that like they're bunched up together, all together, ready to do their work. So I'm just going to go through and wrap it. Oh, look, that one got a little bit too far. Oh, well. When you're painting, just let it be an experience. Kind of just let it be something you can enjoy. I'm going to just go through, and you don't even have to do all of them if you don't feel like it. You know, just kind of go through. So it has that feel. And now I feel like I took the wrong color. See, I'm telling you, must be tired. Okay, I'm going to go through and kind of I'm just going to go through each one. And here's that one that I screwed up. Watch what we're going to do to fix it. Boom. Fixed. See that? The tentacle raised up. Now you can take your time on this. I'm obviously not taking my time on this just because I don't want this video to be like an hour. But when I did my other ones, I took a little bit more time with it. I think I just want to show you how to do it. I'm going to go through. I want those center of the suction cups to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to put that in there. Same with these ones. And then as we go through, just the illusion is sometimes good enough to give you the feel that you need. Like, you know, when you're doing leaves on a tree, you don't have to do the whole You don't have to do like every single leaf on the tree when you're painting it. I mean, you can, but sometimes it's a lot of work, and sometimes you don't even really get the results that you want when you do that. Sometimes it's not exactly what you're looking for. Sometimes you just want the appearance of something when you're doing art. And I'm going to go through and kind of finish. And this one kind of was pretty good because of the dark on one side. I kind of want to do that dark here. We're just going to add a layer. See, just do what you want. Same down here. Just want this to be just a smidgen more dark. I mean, smidgen, I say that a lot. So it kind of looks like it's folding itself up. I'm just going to go through and do all of these. So what would you like to talk about? Here I am, my boring, just painting around a bunch of tentacle suction cup things. Give them some more definition. And you're just going to watch me do it. I should probably just turn this. A word I'm saying. What was that? The light just flickered. Creepy. Maybe got too close to the light on my phone. Yep, that's right. You heard me. I taped this on my phone. Okay. This one's kind of watery, and that's okay. Just don't screw yours up like I did mine. All right? Let's deal. We're going to go through. Let me just turn it a little bit. So I would love to see your comments. I would love to see if you decide to do this painting. I would love to see you post it on I have a Facebook page called Little Frenchie. You want to post? Well, it's too watery. That's what's going on. I need to grab some more of this. Some more paint. Grab some more of the blue. Sorry, you have to look at my arm. It's not very attractive. I'm going to go through and there, it's a little bit better. This one's coming up kind of wonky. You know, it's all good. It's just a painting, we're practicing, we're having fun, we're relaxing, and that's the beauty of doing art. Sometimes it's just done for fun. That's mainly my goal. I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, can you should sell, and I honestly don't have a desire to go into business for selling my pieces. My pieces take too long. You know, if I were to sell this, most one would want to spend is maybe $10 on it. And, you know, I understand art is not a necessity. It's more of a luxury item, although I do feel like art can make life much better. People's appreciation for it tends to not be there. My father did a lot of paintings growing up. My mom was just telling me her basement flooded and she was looking at all the paintings he had done because he's no longer with us. And she went to bring them upstairs and she thought there was a few, and there's probably like hundreds of them. He just practiced, and he enjoyed it. But he would also try to sell it at like fairs and markets, and honestly, people be like, I like it, but I only want to pay like $5 for it. And my dad put a lot of work into all his paintings. It wasn't like it took him 5 minutes to do. Yet that's all people really wanted to pay towards it. And it kind of, I remember my dad tried all sorts of, I think he just wasn't about the business aspect. I understand it, and that's why I don't want to sell, is because it's a lot of work, and you start to lose the art part to work on the business part, and I don't want to do the business part. And so, oops, oh well. That's why I don't sell. I just don't. I want to do this. I want this to be my, hey, I'm relaxing. Here, let me give you a painting because I was thinking of you. That sort of is what I want to do. I don't want to do it because I have to make money and I have to live. That's why I have a day job. But don't let that stop you. That's just me. I just don't want to do that because that's not where my heart is. My heart is to create, and my heart is to teach other people who want to learn. And I want to see them do their own paintings, and I want them to feel like, hey, I can do this. All right, there you go. There he is. Now, I did mine a little bit more sloppy just because I wanted to get through this video and I didn't want it to be an hour long. But what I'm going to do for my last little trick here is I'm going to do, trying to clean my brush off while I'm talking to you, do the splatters. I'm just going to do splatters on this one because normally I like to do splatters, but let me move. I got some good old stack of paintings over here I've been working on. Just for practice. I practice a lot. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get my stuff sopped and wet, and I'm taking my big fat 8 round and I'm just going to go in here. Remember, I like to tap. And then looks like he's angry, like he's inking. So let's do it with the black too. Oh, it's so much fun. Just having fun, splattering paint. I have a thing that's up where I live, and I do this thing called paint dancing, and it's where you like paint and you wear all white and people get to paint on you and you paint on them, and it's a lot of fun playing music. Oh, I love the splatters. Now, you don't have to do yours with splatters. If you're done, you're done. But I want to do him with splatters. But I have one more little trick I want to do. And I'm going to take a white. I want to add in his eye, I forgot to do this earlier, is add one little, like, oh, I didn't pick up enough paint. I want to, hold on, it's wet on his eye. Here, you're going to see me. Remember I was saying, so I wanted to add that. I kind of screwed up the black. See what happens when you play like I do? How? I play too much. See, I do this for the enjoyment. There we go. Well, his eye's kind of creepy and wonky, but that's okay. So, if you like this video, I know it's a little bit long, but this is an octopus, and I know you're going to do your details a lot better than I did. I did mine a quick run through, did it real quick. Normally it would take more time as I went through, and it would probably take me a little bit longer. If you like this video, subscribe to my page down below, Little Frenchie. If you make this painting and you'd like to share it on my Facebook page, I would love to see it. I love seeing other people's arts and inspirations. And I just want to say happy painting to all you octopus lovers. See you on the next video.